welcome back to Escaping Codependency. So, on my last video when I was talking about all my stuff, my mom had called me after and mentioned that I should speak a bit about what codependency is. I took the suggestion and I tried already just to explain it and make a video without a script or anything, and then I felt like I started to just ramble and everything wasn't really in a structured way of me talking about it. So I'm just gonna make this video basically like that, like a ramble video, if that's how it comes out, on on the things that I learned with codependency, I guess. The definition of codependency is it's an excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner or friend or any other human being. It's codependency is a word that we all, well, a lot of us, when we're not ready to be accountable for ourselves, we take the word codependency as like an attack or an offensive word. But after learning about it and having accountability and being able to label yourself with these things that we need to work on, it feels really good, and getting to know yourself a bit better makes it a lot easier to be comfortable saying these things, because you know that you're going to be working on them also. With my experience with codependency, and it's a bit of a dynamic with codependent people where they'll choose partners or lovers that kind of take a lot from them, I guess, and then make them feel good for doing it, and then when they're not doing the things that they want, they'll make the codependent person feel bad for not doing it. And being a codependent person, I know that I wasn't really giving myself a purpose to be a regular human. I wasn't working towards anything. I wasn't building myself. I wasn't doing anything for myself. And then once we get into a relationship, we feel like our purpose is making our partner happy, helping them with their issues, things that they need help with, and we feel good when we get praised for it. We feel loved, we feel like we're doing our job correctly, but we don't really understand that it's not healthy to be that way, because not everything we can fix, not everything we can make better. Some things other people are just going to have to do it themselves or work through their own emotions themselves. And when we end up in situations where we can't fix it or deal with it, we feel like we're bad and we're not doing our job correctly. And then if we're with somebody that makes us feel little for not doing what they want us to do, it can kind of affect us a lot. Like, it can feel like a really hurtful thing. But we're always going to be chasing that gratification, that validation, that love, and it just comes less and less over time. And then we can start to feel like we're just not good enough and anxious that the relationship is going to be over, or just we're going to lose whoever we're not taking care of the way we feel we should be. And it kind of just makes us go wild. And the bad thing about that is we're only responsible for ourselves, and we need to take care of ourselves and build ourselves, and nobody else can do that for us. And until we realize that and start working on ourselves is the only time we can actually start doing something better. So like the biggest thing with codependency, with my codependency, I had no clue what boundaries were. And when you don't have boundaries and you're just giving, not leaving enough for yourself, then you can start to build resentment because you kind of expect the other person to do the same thing that you do, when nobody should be expected to do anything that they don't want to do, basically, or don't have the energy to do. When I read the book on boundaries, it pretty much talked about how if you have no energy, if you have nothing else to give but you're still giving, you're still telling people yes, you're still saving everybody, then it's only your fault, because you're the one making those choices. And I understand how true that is now. So now it's a lot easier for me to say no. It's a lot easier for me to plan my time and not feel bad for telling other people that I don't have time for them or whatever. Learning boundaries helps me understand how to respect other people's boundaries also. It took a lot of practice, like I mentioned in an earlier video. The boundaries book was basically all that I had read at the moment, and really understanding boundaries now, it tells me that literally anyone in the world can do whatever they want, and nobody should try and hold people down or take things away that they enjoy, no matter what it is, like whether it's good or whether it's bad, anything. Like let other people be themselves and do whatever they want to do, honestly, even if it is something like against your own morality. The world will take care of them the way that it needs to. Basically like karma, like what goes around comes around. If you're a good person, good things will come around. If you're the opposite, those things will come around. Like in my case, when I became an adult, I basically just wanted to play games all the time. Wanted to play games, eat a bunch of junk food, do whatever I want, stay up late. I just wanted to have fun. And like no matter who anyone else is, the way way they see me living my life, yeah, maybe it's not a good way to live life, but let me live my own life, and the world will give to me what I'm putting out there. I'm obviously not going to be saving too much money. I'm obviously not going to be learning much or doing anything besides what's in these video games. And then there should come a day where I'm just like, man, what the heck am I doing with my life? And that goes for anybody else too. If anybody pretty much wants to go and hoe around, party, like that wasn't my thing, but a lot of people do that basically right out of high school and stuff. Like, they just want to go hoe around, party, drink, smoke, do all that stuff. Like, let them. Don't even control them. Let them do their thing. Let them catch their STDs if they're not using protection. Let them break a bunch of hearts. Let them do whatever, because the world will come back to them and show them this isn't the right way to live. And I hope everybody going through things like this actually wants to learn a lesson, wants to grow, wants to figure things out one day, because they realize their life isn't all that. But allow people to live their own lives. And boundaries keep us away from things that will hurt us, our morals, our values. We have to protect ourselves. The world is going to do what it's going to do. And the best way to be able to have these boundaries, when I first started working on my boundaries, it was basically just, don't talk to me this way, don't tell me to do things I don't feel like doing, don't basically all the things that would kind of hurt my feelings or make me feel a bit of pain. That's how I started practicing my boundaries. With a lot of practice, at first, I didn't mention this, at first I used to feel angry because I learned that basically all these things that were hurting me, I was just holding down inside and not communicating that I didn't want these things happening to me. And after a lot of practice, I learned to be a lot more calm. I learned to be a lot more empathetic towards others and respectful towards others. And I've gotten a lot of respect towards myself. People that would be a certain way to me aren't that way with me anymore. And it takes time. It doesn't all just happen at once. Now, like, the best thing to overcome codependency, in my experience, I'm not gonna make a video like everybody else makes. I'm gonna make it based off of me for now. My experience, the best thing to work on the codependency is having a purpose for your own self, having goals for your own self, and working at them every single day. Like in these videos, I'm talking about all these things I want to do for myself to build, and now I feel like I have to do them every day. And it leaves me with barely any time to spend time with other people, unless I plan them in my day. But first, I gotta make sure I read my book, I gotta make sure I get my workout in, I gotta make sure I learn gotta make sure I meditate. I gotta make sure I drink my water. I know that has nothing to do with everything else. But it's easy for me to say no if I still have things that I'm supposed to do. And the world will just have to adjust to me growing. The world will have to adjust to me doing what I'm doing for me. And anyone that tries to take that from me or make me feel bad for doing what I'm doing, it's really easy for me to just be like, to just say, no thank you. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna work on me. I wish you the best. And like, there's no animosity, there's no hate. I don't need people to stay in my life anymore if they're not on board with me needing to grow, wanting to grow, and all the things that I have to do to get there. And as I'm growing, I'll start to grow in other aspects as well. So I'll add more things. I'll try new things. And whoever comes into my life, if they kind of get in the way of all that, I'm just going to be like, sorry, I hope you have a good life, but this isn't working out for me. And it's so nice to get to this point. And it's really difficult being codependent. Depending on others for your validation, for your purpose in the world, for your existence, and just riding the waves of whatever they're going through, their emotions, their feelings, their problems, their traumas and dramas. It's really hard living that way. But now when I know that I'm doing good for myself every day, and I know that that's going to take me to a better place in my life, I validate myself. I love myself. I respect myself. And I make sure I'm putting in the work to build myself. That makes me really happy. All this talking, I don't know if I explained codependency well enough, but I feel I did. And I feel I put some information with how to kind of pull yourself out of codependency. I still have my moments where I miss certain people, but if they're not good for me anymore, if I know it can't be good for me, then I'm okay with letting it go. Something will come better one day, as long as there's respect on both ends. Alright, this was my talk on codependency. I feel it got pretty deep, and as I'm talking, I start to realize some things about myself too, which is kind of awesome. Alright, love you guys. Cheers to another 20-minute video, and kisses.